आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Ladies and gentlemen, deciphering the 6 Ds of the budget. We were having a conversation after the budget was presented, and Shubhranshu Singh, a business leader, global board member of FE Alliance, friend of ours and a friend of the network, said there were 6 Ds, Arnab, you need to look at. We will run a news package on this, Shubhranshu. Would you please tell us briefly what the Ds stand for?
I thought it was interesting because somehow it worked out that it was all about discipline, that's fiscal discipline. It was about defense, so much greater outlay for that. Data in terms of data sovereignty and the huge tax window extending all the way to 2047. It was about decluttering, not only during the budget, but before. It has been on for a while. And then, of course, decriminalization, as in, in the tax code, not everybody needs to be thrown into jail. I thought, therefore, not only was it deep and, disciplined, but I thought this was all coming together as Ds. That's why I passed you the note.
So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the 6 Ds of the budget as Shubhranshu saw it. I'll run a quick package on that, and then we'll go straight to our next set of guests.
And it is deep, decisive, determined, and Deshbhakt. But those are not the Ds on which I would like to analyze and parse the budget. I have another 6 Ds in mind, which have come through loud and clear in this budget that Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman presented for the record 9th time. The first D is data, incentivizing the digital economy with tax holidays and incentives aimed at locating data centers within our national boundaries, providing digital infrastructure and emerging tech ecosystems, a huge push to make India a trusted global data and computational hub. The second D is declutter. There are a variety of ways in which ease of doing business, regulatory simplification, and reduced compliance burden will streamline approvals to lower friction for businesses and accelerate private investment. The third D is discipline. Fiscal credibility is about commitment to fiscal consolidation, and the deficit targets are tighter still and being delivered. There is responsible borrowing to assure markets, investors, and rating agencies. Remember, India, as a top 5 economy, is being watched across the world. The fourth is decriminalization, which means trust-based governance, rationalization of tax penalties, and removal of most criminal provisions for procedural or minor compliance failures, shifting from fear to facilitation. The fifth D is duties rationalization. Strategic industrial policy has targeted reduction of custom duties in priority sectors such as critical minerals, clean energy components, and the vital nuclear supply chain to support domestic manufacturing and energy security for today, tomorrow, and the long-term future. And the last but most significantly, in these volatile times riven with geopolitical stress, is D for defense. Strategic capex and security, sustained and enhanced allocation of defense, manufacturing, indigenous procurement, and border and cyber infrastructure linking national security with industrial growth. So in my assessment, it has been a 6 Ds budget. Thank you.
6 Ds budget as defined there by Shubhranshu. I think that was a great job, Shubhranshu. Well done there. Really simplified the whole thing. Mohandas Pai, Chairman of Aaron Capital, Sohail Said, Brand Guru, Managing Partner, Councilage, very well-known figures to help us understand this budget. Mr. Pai, good evening. We spoke just before. And we had a great analysis of the budget from the technology, macroeconomic and fiscal point of view just a while back with Nilesh Shah, Sanjeev Sanyal and Professor Kamakoti. What is your big takeaway here? Is there really a long-term view or are we reading too much?
Well, I think it is a budget which carries forward the reform agenda. In the last year, they came out with the big bang reforms on taxes and both GST and personal taxes. So the tax to GDP ratio is reduced. And we have seen that the tax to GDP ratio for indirect taxes is now 4.3% for next year, compared to some 5.5% 5 years ago. That means the taxes on ordinary people has come down. And the taxes on direct taxes, direct tax share has gone up, which is very, very good because that is very progressive. And I think all these reforms to improve ease of business is pretty good. But I think there are big areas where they have not spoken, and I want to point it out, Arnab, because there's no point praising government for doing hygiene matters all the time, which they have to do. If Sanjeev is there, he'll understand that. What about tax disputes? There is 28 lakh crores of taxes in dispute. Last year's budget, I've not seen this year's budget. I just got the papers. I need to study how much it is. 14 lakh crores are stuck in tax disputes where assessee or assets are not available. 14 lakh crores are fresh, 80% last 5 years. Why don't we have a tax dispute resolution year in 26-27 to say, we're not going to raise fresh tax disputes. We're going to try to resolve all of them and reduce it and reduce the time for tax disputes. It takes 15-20 years, and they go all the way to the Supreme Court. Why not increase the appeal limit to Supreme Court to maybe 100 crores, 500 crores? Why don't they obey the High Court decisions on tax disputes? Because I think that's a very important thing, because these are all penalties are gone, these are all gone, that's fine. Those are small things which have to be done, but the big thing is the tax dispute. Second dispute is the powers of the tax officer to come and raid you. It's all internal. There's no protection for you and me or any citizen. They can decide what they want. They can record reasons in writing, and they don't have to show it to you. They can do whatever they want, come to your house, sit down for 5 days and, harass you like what happened to the gentleman here who committed suicide. Now, these are big issues that have to be tackled because we need protection from tax collectors who go beyond the law because none of them get punished. 70% of tax disputes go against the department. Who is being punished? Nobody cares.
But is that something to be looked at in a budget? Mohan, just asking you here. Because increasingly budget is becoming, consequent, not the most consequential document as it used to be. Would you expect the budget to look at issues of tax dispute, tax terrorism?
Yes. I would expect the budget.
One minute. The panel is agreeing with you. I'm just asking. 1 minute. 1 minute. No, 1 minute. Do we agree with Mohandas Pai? You think a budget should address it?
Absolutely agree with Mohandas Pai ji, because these are important problems which citizens should be devoid from. For example, I've got a notice from the tax department asking me to produce a bank statement for a bank that's closed in 2016. How on earth am I going to produce that statement? And they're saying we don't know.
You agree with Mohandas Pai?
Absolutely, 100%. Fully I agree.
112 of the Constitution calls the budget an annual financial statement. And what you're talking about are structural reforms. This you can expect from the new tax code that is going. In fact, the budget, the finance minister has spoken.
The new tax code, my friend.
He's saying so.
Come as part of the budget. Please be reasonable.
No, you don't interrupt.
Please support the government because you want to support the government. Talk reason, please.
No.
Please.
One minute. Just listen to him. Don't quarrel. You agree with him.
Absolutely, yes.
Then he's saying that, listen, there is a problem here. There is a genuine problem here. You are saying I will provide a stable and predictable taxation to improve investor confidence. Okay. You are always asking what further reforms are required to reduce tax uncertainty. But also people will ask you, what about tax litigation? What about tax dispute? What about tax raid? This is also sending us an atmosphere of uncertainty. Am I right?
And fear.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we live in fear in this country.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
No.
Due on 1st of April, the implementation, it deals with all these issues. In fact, if you look
it does not deal with these issues, please.
One minute. Lokesh. No, 1 minute. Okay. So Mohandas is saying it does not deal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have raised it. Mohandas Pai, you're saying it does not deal.
Give me a break. I read the law, please. I'm not an unpad. I read the law. It does not deal with it. In fact, the new act, Arnab, takes it forward. All your social media posts, all your digital assets, everything can be broken into if you don't give them the password. And to do that, what is there? The officer should have suspicion you avoided taxes. The superior officer, who 2 steps have, should have reason to believe. Then they come to you, the raid. and that is it. You have no protection. I suggested to the parliamentary committee, why don't you go to court and take a court order to come to your house to raid and to take away your password? The court will protect you. They refuse.
Let me get Sohail in on this. Sohail, I want your thoughts on this point, which has now taken my first 10 minutes in a very animated discussion. We moved into what the government could have done on the tax issue. Sohail, your thoughts on this, please.
See, the citizen must be incentivized to follow the law. If a citizen follows the law assiduously and is then held up as an example of violating the law, it is stupid. It is a segue from the ease of business and the ease of, lawful, honest citizenship. The problem here, Arnab, is that the bureaucracy is the one that needs to be tamed. The politician has to seek election. The bureaucracy is there for life. They have a problem for every solution. I was born and raised in Calcutta. At that time, the communists were famous for having a problem for every solution. These Johnnies don't want resolution. You know why? Because in conflict, they remain powerful. In resolution, they are powerless. So we need a bureaucracy that understands that the citizen is not a criminal. The citizen is playing his or her part. Of course, there are a few who are. Also. Now, you tell me, Mohan didn't mention this, Mohandas didn't mention this, but of 100 people who are raided, only 4% are convicted. So 96% are getting away. You're spending money on litigation. You're spending money on departmental procedures, all of that. Who's paying? Arnab Goswami and I. I don't know about the other chap whose bank is shut down if he's paying any more, but you know what I mean. That I'm just joking. See, the issue here, Arnab, is we are at a great inflection point in India's economic trajectory. We now need to get the citizen on our side. The citizen is not an enemy. Please don't look at everyone with suspicion. There are a few bad eggs, but you don't destroy the entire farm. My point is, and I agree with Mohandas, the budget is the place, because the budget is the only thing that you guys report. Tomorrow, if Nirmala Sitharaman says, I'm reducing the tax to such and such thing, it'll be a one-hour story. Today, Arnab Goswami has continued his tirade and his, love for the budget all day. So it's an important document. And the budget, sadly, is a document or a procedure or proceedings that we view from a tax purpose.
You can't change windows in the
tax
You can't change windows.
So these are the real issues.
I'll give you an example.
This fellow always interrupts. This young chap always interrupts.
I take that point. Can we look at the other aspects of the budget also, please, Mohan?
Can I? Okay. No, look, I commend the finance minister for financial management. Costs are under control. Capex has gone up. Borrowing has come down. Allocation has increased in certain sectors. And I think money is being spent, fairly efficiently. We can always quibble about subsidies and all that. There's an increase in capex, which is very good, 12.1%. Tax collections are down this year because I think they underestimated the giveaway in income taxes. They only said 1 lakh crore. I think it will be close to 2 to 2.5 lakh crores because, the tax to GDP ratio has come down despite some buoyancy in the economy. And I think that's very interesting because Sanjeev Sanyal, you always used to say, don't overtax people. It is better to leave money in the hands of consumers and citizens to spend. I think on that, they require a full credit. I think the finance minister has done a great job in managing the financial position of the government.
I have one politically incorrect thing to say, Arnab, on your program.
Yes.
This government is the only government which has the courage and should exhibit that courage to get rid of subsidies that are non-germane to the development of India. This nonsense of just pre-election 10,000 rupees to someone, 5,000 rupees to someone, 80
the judiciary has
subsidy.
You
have to make people responsible to earn money, not to get money.
No,
that money, if it was deployed,
but here again, I want to play devil's advocate with you.
Would have actually worked.
No, what is your problem with that? What is Mohandas Pai Sohail's problem with that? Because one minute. You see, the counter argument is, what's your problem, Sohail? What's Mohandas Pai's problem?
Because it is my money that is going for this and not for.
Well, you've got financial credibility. You've got the fiscal deficit
and not low-income housing.
You got fiscal deficit under control. Your fiscal deficit trend is good. The long arm, your deficit trends are telling you the real story. The revenue deficit is under control. Debt consolidation has happened. There is responsible borrowing going on. So what is your problem? If the poor get subsidies, what is your problem?
Arnab, it is unpalatable for you and Mohandas to hear this. I'm going to tell you the unpalatable truth. We are facing
You tell
a
Mohandas
job
Pai.
crisis.
1 minute. All that is unpalatable, you tell Mohandas Pai.
No, I'll tell you, whether you like it or not, we are facing a job crisis. Our MSME sector is under severe pressure and severe threat. Today, you don't have jobs. Now, no matter what you might say about AI, non-AI, you may say about manufacturing, we need job-driven growth, not jobless growth. A. B. The money that the government is spending on subsidies, if it was actually spending on certain sectors, it would help. Finally, in my opening remarks, I'm also going to say that tourism has not been ever given the fillip that it needs. Tourism and real estate are the largest employment generators, Arnab, the largest. And we hold them in such dismay and in such a despicable manner. Do you know, even today, a bank does not recognize tourism as an industry. These are serious problems. We get, in 1 year, India gets as many tourists as Thailand gets in half a year. I mean, someone's got to look at these things. We had a National Skills Development Corporation. Still, we have a large unskilled labor force. You remember Narayan Murthy, Mohandas Pai's great friend and colleague, famously said that when we hire people at Infosys, 70% we have to retrain, even though they come out from sterling educational institutions. This is a cost. Who's bearing that cost? It's all right to say, "Ha bhai, aap revdi dete jao." Listen, remember, Arnab, you know this.
Dependence. 1 minute. The problem is that this is very harsh.
There is no free lunch.
That's very harsh.
Nirmala is borrowing from Arnab to pay Mohandas, or vice versa.
No, that's very harsh.
There's a free lunch anywhere.
That's very harsh.
It is.
Arnab.
It's the truth. The truth is always. You said the truth is always harsh.
No,
We have learned from you. You have always said the truth is harsh.
but poverty, people are not going to be lifted out of poverty. People need the food grain. People are not using the food grain to export to Cuba. They are having the food grain, which means there's a need for it. And subsidies are necessary. Subsidies, Mohandas Pai, become necessary.
Dr. Ambedkar said about reservation. There is a time at which the subsidy needs to be either scaled down or withdrawn. You remember the old saying, you went to Oxford and Cambridge and all these fancy places. You can either give a man fish or you can teach him how to fish. We have to start teaching our people how to fish. Giving fish is over.
Yes, Mohandas.
Arnab, let me put the problem in perspective. The total subsidies in the union government budget is about 4 lakh crores, a little bit above, and that is about 1%, just above 1% of GDP. But the problem is, total subsidies by the union government and the states have gone to 10 lakh crores. The bigger subsidies given by the state government. My government in Karnataka gives 1 lakh crore of subsidies, and they increase it by 55-60,000 crores after Sitharaman came to power. And we are the richest state in India with the highest per capita income. Yet he says 80% of Kannadigas require ration, 5 kg free rice, and 60% of women above 21 require 2,000 rupees a month. While he is not spending money on higher education, 60 to 70% of faculty positions in government colleges and universities are not being filled up by permanent faculty. There's no permanent faculty. What is the biggest gift we can give our children? A good higher education. We need good faculty. Don't have permanent faculty. Spend on higher education. Spend on infrastructure. He is borrowing money to pay subsidies. So it is not a union government problem as much as the state government problem. Especially in the richest state of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana. In Telangana, the chief minister said he has no money for other things, he's paying subsidies. Now, this is a real problem. Let us spend on higher education. Let us spend on innovation. Let us spend on technology. Let us spend on, let us say, internship. For example, they announced the internship program last year. In the budget, if you look at the figures, the outlay has been cut. Outlay was some 10,000 crores. I think it's cut to some 2,000 to 3,000 crores. They've not been able to implement it. We need jobs, jobs and jobs. Incentivize job creation. Focus on job creation like, Suhail said. That's the number one priority for India. Our young people want good jobs. Give them good education.
The government's not doing enough for job creation, Mohan?
Not doing enough.
Why is that, Mohan? Can you elucidate?
Yes, and Mohandas Pai ran Infosys. Infosys is a stellar company. You ask Mohandas Pai, why didn't Infosys, with all its geniuses, ever create a Facebook or a Google? I'll tell you why. Not that Infosys lacks the intellect. They lack the ecosystem that a country should provide.
Absolutely.
You need to demarcate.
A lot of agreement going on here.
Absolutely.
Let me give an example. Let me give an example. China spent $150 billion on AI in the last 7 years. They are the top superpower in AI. How much did we spend? Some 500 crores, 1,000 crores. We announced 11,000 crores. We hardly spent any money. Even this year, the budgeted figure for AI has not been spent. What are we doing? We need to spend 50,000 crores a year at least on innovation when we spend 10 lakh crores on giving subsidies, but in the state and the center.
Because the people who are running artificial intelligence in the government have native stupidity. The people running artificial intelligence in the government have native stupidity. You are spending 10,000 crores you have allocated. That is 1.3 billion US dollars. It's nothing.
12 over 5 years. Please, over 5 years.
So there you are. And in 5 years, we'll all be dead or old.
Yes. And the speed of change is so much. Where are we spending enough money on innovation? Arnab, today,
we are giving you
the
a
insurance
reality
companies,
check, my friend. We are giving you a reality check. We love our country. We love our country. We love what the Prime Minister is doing. And there's an old saying, only when you care do you complain. So please don't think we are being negative. We are being realistic and we are seeing the potential of India.
Arnab, let me give one more data.
1 minute.
Absolutely right.
1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah.
Arnab, let me give one more data. For example, in the last 10 years, China spent $842 billion on innovation and startups, US $2.32 trillion. We spent $170 billion, out of which 80% came from outside. What are we spending? Our insurance companies cannot invest in innovation and startup because of bad policy. Our pension fund cannot invest anything. University endowments cannot invest. There's an investment pattern which has not been changed. If you are an IIT, you can't put money directly from a corpus into your startups in your own university.
Can you imagine?
What kind of stupid policy is that? Why can't they do it directly? They can't put their own money because the investment policy doesn't allow. We asked Sanjeev Sanyal to change all that. He's promised to do it. We returned to government and they just don't care. They don't listen to you. We have to invest in innovation. We are at a cusp in the human evolution when innovation has become the largest value driver. It's going to destroy jobs. We got to train our people in AI. We say we're going to train school children in AI. It doesn't matter. School children are not going to earn money. It takes 10 years for them to grow up. We got to train our graduates. We got to spend money on AI. We got to spend money on creating cloud infrastructure. Look at the policy. If a foreigner comes, set up cloud infrastructure and supplies to outside, tax exemption. If you and I set it up here, nothing. We don't get tax exemption. Why not give it to everybody to create capacity so the poor Indian can use hyper cloud technology in India at a lower cost? You're incentivizing foreigners to come and do it here. Why not the poor Indians? Now look, these are all lopsided policies which have to change. We need to say we want focus on human capital, on good higher education. We want focus on innovation. We want focus on AI because the speed of change is so much. We're going to have a big AI.
No, I think we're making mistakes. I'll tell you one thing. I just got news. I don't believe any government is infallible. I just got news that there has been a tweet by the government of Pakistan. Look at this Mohandas Pai, 4 trillion economy. I have been saying repeatedly, I've been saying repeatedly, just because some broadcasters want to make money, some sponsors want to make money, don't let BCCI, ICC, this IPL group, this cricket group compromise national interest. Don't give Pakistan a chance. Don't give Pakistan a chance. And nobody has been responding. And sports ministry has been quiet. Modi government has been quiet. Now here's the tweet. Government of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan grants approval to the Pakistan cricket team to participate in the World Cup T20. However, the Pakistan cricket team shall not take the field in the match scheduled on 15th February against India. So we've done a massive stupidity. I don't understand what is wrong with the government of India, with the ICC, BCCI. We should hang our heads in shame. We should have put Pakistan in its place earlier, saying that we don't want to play cricket with you. We've been doing this stupidity of playing in neutral venues and all that. Right, Suhail? This is the biggest headline and we've done this to ourselves. Right, Suhail? I'm sorry I'm just moving away. But what's going on, Suhail? What is this? I can't hear Suhail. Audio up, please. Audio,
water.
music bed down,
The
audio.
Prime Minister of Pakistan says he's going around with his Asif Munir joker with a begging bowl. These guys don't have money to buy a glass of water. They're saying we will boycott. Karo boycott. Kya hoga? And we've got Jay Shah.
No, but
he will make sure something devious happens to them, as it should. You know, this is my problem. We get distracted by stupidity and inanities. We should have never played Pakistan because they are scoundrels. It is a rogue country led by two rogues. That Sharif Joker, who's not Sharif at all, and Munir. These
But
are the
BCCI and ICC owe an explanation to the people of India for this. BCCI and ICC owe a solid explanation to the people of India. You know, Rajiv Shukla trying to play this whole thing down. He's handled it so badly. ICC, Jay Shah, everybody's handled it badly. And Indian government should have taken a position on this.
Rajiv Shukla wants to win a popularity poll. Rajiv Shukla is the only person who will outlast the Gateway of India and India Gate because of his popularity. But he's not running our foreign policy. We have to have foreign policy people intervene. Dr. Jaishankar should actually rap people on the knuckles and say...
No, I think it's the government of India which needs to come in. I mean, this whole aspiration to host the Commonwealth in India, God knows why we are hosting the Commonwealth. Commonwealth is a dead concept. It's a dead concept. We want to host the Commonwealth Games in India. After Suresh Kalmadi, we should have never allowed it. This is a shame, and I'm putting it on record today. This is a terrible situation that we are in today. We have turned it into a spectacle. We should have put our foot a long time back on this. A long time back. Shubhranshu, you're also stepping in on this because this is turning out to be a blazing headline.
Well, I'm just trying to find our way back to the budget. In fact, one thing which we haven't discussed.
This is a huge story. My 9 o'clock debate is going to be on this. We're going to open interactivity on this, and we're going to slam the ICC and the BCCI and also the government of India, which has done a bad job of handling it. We should have thought this through.
Well, nevertheless, something that has not been discussed through the day, the government did announce a Khelo India mission where there's
No, there's no moving away from this, Shubhranshu. There is no moving away from this. We had said it a long time back that you're playing a chess game with a country at whom you fired the BrahMos, and you're trying to play chess games with Pakistan. Mohandas Pai is coming in. Don't try to distract Shubhranshu from this. Mohandas Pai, viewers, we will be debating this tonight. Mohandas Pai.
Another very good thing in the budget is a 20% increase in hardware for the armed forces. This is fantastic. The increased allocation to the armed forces in 25-26 by 20%, and I think it's very good.
I agree with you.
Future defense is going to be fought by missiles and by air cover, and now we are investing heavily in that area. And we're going to be a big exporter. I think it continues. For example, in the revised budget for 25-26, there's a massive increase in allocation this year itself. And again, for next year, there's a smaller increase. I think this is very good. The message goes that we are going to manufacture it ourselves. About 85-90% is being manufactured here. And we are going to invest much more. We're going to modernize our military. Now the total spending on armaments will be 29% of the budget, as against 22% or something like that. And that's very good news. We must commend the government for this massive increase.
I commend the government. I'm going back to the budget debate, top man, bottom man, everything. I commend the government for the 2026 defense budget, which has laid a strong stress on defense Atmanirbharta. I commend the government for the fact that the defense ministry got the highest allocation among all ministries. The total defense budget is 14.67% of the central government expenditure, highest among all ministries. I am more hardline on these issues than the government or anyone in the government. I believe that this emergency procurement which has been allotted to the tune of 2.1 lakh crores should have been 5 lakh crores, and the people of the country should have been told that contribute. I would have said that the highest taxpayers of the country, upper middle class and above, should be given an opportunity to contribute, and people would contribute because our capital expenditure we need to make on defense has to be huge. And the budget procurement for all indigenous platforms, we're not doing well enough. We are trying to build technology. Some of the technology that we're trying to build will take a very, very long time. We need to buy the technology and then build. We need to do much more in R&D. We need to make up for 30 years of slumber. So Mohandas Pai, I'm totally with you on that. And you, we totally commend it. This is a great decision by the government. One minute. More people agreeing with you. Today, everybody is agreeing with you. Today, everybody agrees.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Don't try to. No, listen. Are you trying to win favor with Mohan?
No.
You're trying to win some favor?
No, absolutely not. I agree with Mohandas Pai absolutely on every single point. You can be renamed as Mohandas Karamchand Pai also.
Please, please. We are not all Gandhi fans. Please, we are not as great Gandhi fans as you think.
Very important that it is important on every...
Mohan.
Arnab, two more points I want to say. MSMEs have been recognized. Sohail made a statement very good. MSMEs is not doing well. MSMEs will have a 10,000 crore equity
Promote
fund.
The 9
First time is very good. Make them grow up. And then central government PSUs will procure from the threads platform. So working capital will be much easier. And the industry should go. And they're going to have a threads platform guarantee fund. This is fantastic because the biggest challenge for MSMEs is not market. Big guys don't pay. This is a rotten country where the big companies use the small man's money.
All this is very good, but why is there no allocation for the Chabahar port? Have we given in to the Americans and given up on the Chabahar port? I just saw here, if you see page 111 out here, there's a zero allocation against the Chabahar port. Is that a good thing? Should we give up on the Iranians overnight? Mohan, I know.
Arnab, we will debate that separately, but let us hear the good news. And the second good news is, Arnab, between Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, we're going to have a high-speed rail. We can travel from Bangalore to Chennai in 1 hour, 10 minutes. Arnab, this is fantastic. I don't know when it will happen. At least we got hope now. Hyderabad, Chennai.
Make the graphics, show those wall graphics on the screen. Let me show the corridors. There are 6 of them, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Fire it out. There are six corridors that are going to be made. And we're going to go there sooner than you think. There are 6 fantastic corridors. Can we fire the graphics, please? 6 corridors, ladies and gentlemen. If we are looking at this, can we please fire it on the screen?
And Dhanuka
on the screen
to Surat.
Yeah, there it is.
Corridor. That's fantastic.
Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad.
Yes, look. They're recognizing South India for the first time.
Working.
First time the golden triangle of South India is getting recognized. It's the most productive zone. Sohail, come to
1 minute. Sohail is countering you. Sohail to Mohandas Pai.
This is what I love. Mohandas Pai was a great James Thurber fan. Walter Mitty. Oh, corridor. They can't bloody repair the potholes in Gurugram. ये लोग corridor बनाएंगे? कमाल है यार. पहले गुरुग्राम को ठीक करो, Bangalore.
Anyway, you move to Noida. Noida is smarter than Gurugram these days. Thank you. Move to Noida, Sohail. Move to Noida.
Shiv Kumar to get a goddamn pothole repaired in Bangalore.
Move to Noida.
Corridor?
Move to Noida, we'll get you a corridor here.
There'll be a corridor. The only corridor there will be is the corridor of power with irresponsible people manning that corridor.
Anyway, the only irresponsible people...
Suhail, we'll give you a flying car, Suhail. In 3 years, we'll give you a flying car. You don't have to go on the potholes. Don't worry. There's a flying car company in Chennai. We have invested in...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the big debate tonight. The big debate tonight as I thank Mohandas Pai and Sohail Seth for that spirited session out there. And we got some breaking news. I want to go back to that before I introduce our next guest. Many people, I'll just give you 2 clues on our next guest. Very visible, very invisible of late, very visible, very high profile. Not seen much on camera of late, but not good. Some people say they should have more of her. You see her on now, here's another clue. She's still on television, but she's not where she should be.
Arnab, you're sounding like Donald Trump.
No, I'm not describing Donald Trump. Oh, God, can any of us think beyond Donald Trump these days? No, I'm talking about Smriti Irani. She's having a laugh. Let's put her on air. Come on. Let's say hello to Smriti Irani. Come on. Now, put everybody on air. My window makers are so cagey. Put everybody on air. Come, Aditi. We'll have people react to people, yeah. Oh, get Suhail back. Throw him out. God, who's doing my vision mixing today?
Okay, I'm telling you, these people have something against Gurugram.
You have a superstar, so can I leave?
No, don't leave. Say something. Did I describe her correctly there, Mohan? Sohail?
She's a superstar.
I think, no, to be fair, Smriti is unarguably amongst one of the brightest people in public service, and who has always consistently and constantly delivered, and her heart actually beats for Indians and India. Yeah. And she's the only person I know who actually goes to Davos for serious work, unlike half the other jokers who take an entourage which does no work. On that note...
You're describing somebody from a channel.
Maharashtra Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, and Jai Republic.
Sohail. Okay, Sohail and Mohandas bhai, thank you very much. Thank you. See how she kept a straight face. She didn't respond to anyone nowadays. She's taken this I won't respond to anyone kind of situation. I'm going to be unflappable. I'll be very serious. I'll be very statesman-like. But all this, why, Smriti? It's all right. It's all right. It's all right, Smriti. These people are trying to curry favor with you after slamming the government for the last 20 minutes.
I thought there were many.
Yes, Sohail?
I thought there were many who were hoping that I be extremely elegant when I'm erudite as well. I'm grateful to Mr. Seth for complimenting me and so graciously, knowing that there would be nothing more, I think, heartbreaking if you're at the receiving end of his political or social barbs. For a legend like Sohail Seth to compliment you, I think it's a feather in my cap. And I mean it with all sincerity. So I'm grateful.
No, a lot of people happy
for the
to see you
kindness
on
you've
TV.
shown me.
A lot of people happy to see you on TV. A lot of, people who look upon you as the foremost and one of the foremost women leaders in public life. Happy to see you here. Thank you very much and welcome. I'll give you the opening comment today, which is the broad stroke of what you see in the budget. If the one thing you were to decipher or pull out of the budget, what would that be, Smriti?
I think there are 2-3 issues that I'd like to articulate. One is the Biopharma Shakti announcement. We all know that the prowess of the Indian pharmaceutical ecosystem was best shown to the world during COVID. The fact that today global supply chains and vaccines at that, 60% of it emanates from Indian companies. 20% of the global generics come from India. That the largest lot of US FDA approved plants outside of the US are owned by Indian companies is a matter of great pride for Indians and India at large. The fact that the finance minister particularly looked at the biopharma possibilities of India, I think, is something to be taken note of. Secondly, the fact that there was a pronouncement of the rare earth corridor, the fact that India has the 3rd largest reserves in the world. However, our contribution to global production is a measly 1%. So to ensure that production and local, I think, industry which complements it can grow, this corridor is a welcome announcement. Electronics manufacturing is something that we in India have celebrated, seeing how much export growth we have seen in that one segment. The fact that a decade ago we were around $4 to $5 billion worth, and today we have surpassed that number. In fact, in some manner, grown 6 times. That particular sector has seen that promise, and today's announcement actually bolsters the prospect for that sector in our economy. As a woman, I'm extremely proud that 10 crore women today in self-help groups create a rural economy, a grassroots economy worth $37 billion annually. And the She-Mart announcement, again, is something that I welcome. As a mother, I welcome the fact that today the finance minister found in that budget speech of her the space for girls' hostel in every district in STEM institutions. We have to recognize that 43% of STEM graduates in our country today are women. We have to recognize that when the government brought about a credit scheme which can make women at least enthuse them enough to take their credit scores across the country, saw women doing PhDs go up by 99%. So it is those interventions that have really gladdened my heart. As somebody who has served in the textile ministry, I was extremely pleased to see the announcements with regards to technical textile. And Arnab, I think you've been one of the witnesses of the India PPE production story, where India never had an HSN code for technical textiles as a segment. Prime Minister Modi led that and ensured that we had HSN codes. 2024, I think the exports were worth $3 billion. There's a projection in that in the next 3 years, it'll go up to $10 billion. So for technical textiles to find a mention in the speech, as much as handloom and handicraft, I think that balance is also something that I welcome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the budget did put a spotlight on textiles. You've been a very successful textile minister, and this time they spoke about cluster modernization, budget textile parks, Samarth 2.0, etc. And this will genuinely help. I agree with you on that. Now, a couple of things, people are uneasy with so much subsidies. Ms. Smriti Irani, right? I mean, our teams here, analysts, everybody's been critical, saying, see, you are competing with each other on subsidy. You're going to run out of money, 10 lakh crore rupees put here, not in the most productive way. And the general feeling was, does anyone want to articulate this here? The general feeling was, Shubhranshu, that the government, this BJP government would only believe in productive employment, productive investment.
I heard that the government is looking at the second horizon. It's a long-term budget, and yet the subsidy piece is perpetuated, and that leads to people just living on dole. This was the sense that I got from the previous
Why should
panel.
people live on dole? Why should the government more and more encourage people to live on dole? Now, you can say, Smriti, this is not dole, this is necessary, this is part of social welfare, it has a domino effect, etc., etc. But it was not your policy 5 years back.
But equally that...
No, let her respond. Yeah.
I think that dole or... Yes, I think that when you talk about a subject like dole, one has to be pragmatic enough to recognize. For instance, if Prime Minister Modi had not extended the food security blanket onwards to the poorest of the poor in the country, just the budgetary impact, the negative impact of it, would have been something which would have economically become a challenge for all segments of our country. The fact that when the Prime Minister says, out of, let's say, the security blanket, build toilets or homes for the poorest of the poor, let alone, if I just take the segment of sanitation. In the year 2010-11, there was a World Bank report which said that due to the lack of just structural availability of sanitation facility amongst the poorest of the poor in the country, there is a 6% negative impact on the GDP of India. So when you look at that balance, it is not dole, it is actually providing infrastructural support or life system support to a part of our population which gives rise to many and other economic activities. For instance, when we look at the self-help group model that I spoke about right now, if you look at Prime Minister Modi's economic largesse, that is how you want to define it, over 8 lakh crore rupees flew to these self-help groups over the last decade under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. But look at the NP of all these women-owned ecosystems. It's less than 2%. So these women have shown fiscal discipline. Ours is one of the rarest of the rare countries in the world which has created affirmative action in public procurement through GEM, where there is a 3% available ecosystem for women-owned businesses to become a part of the government supply chain. Now, that is not because it's a largesse or a dole. That is to support women-owned businesses that have shown fiscal prudence. So today, when the government talks about a she-mart, it is not a dole. It is to provide a very, very comprehensive or
but that's one example.
Market ecosystem.
That's one example. There could be many examples. There could be many examples.
Even in the rural economy, Arnab.
Pardon me?
So let's say today, if the government says handcraft, if the government wants to help artisans, there are many schemes where the government reaches out to artisans in the poor of the poor segments and works with them. In the COVID era, we saw 1 lakh crore.
No, what about money being put directly in the pockets of people before an election? You say 2,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees in the pockets of women in a certain category, in a certain age group. That's not productive employment at all. That's direct cash transfer.
So if you look at the numbers from FMCG companies, Arnab, if you look at numbers from FMCG companies and the response of the rural economy and the spend by women in self-care product, there is a fillip given in that vertical as well. So it is showing economic dividends for corporate India as well.
No. Before elections, giving 10,000 rupees, if Smriti ji is saying is showing cascading impact on FMCG consumption, I think that is not the model. That is pure bribing. Because anything she-mart we are not questioning. We are not questioning the SSGs. We are not questioning anything that's done for artisans. But giving 10,000 rupees just before the election and saying that is increasing FMCG consumption is not an argument I would like to buy.
Okay, one. See, one. This is
10,000 seed money.
Mr. Rani.
Sir, allow me. 10,000 rupees as seed money to self-help groups is not bribery. And to say that women voters in this country can be bought off by 10,000 rupees, I think is a great insult to their not only mental faculties, but also them as citizens standalone who take political decisions not because somebody gave 10,000 rupees in a bank account.
No. Okay, we'll allow.
It is seed money given. So I would like you to reposition yourself on that particular announcement.
Madam,
It is a
every-
very-
One minute. Let's don't be stuck.
Every party is
Don't be
women.
stuck on one point out here. The question here is that look at the broader picture. You want to corner Smriti entirely on this. It's not fair. This is one point being made. I think you made your point and she's made hers quite firmly. Can I move on to other points out here? You see, the big issue is, and you've been traveling globally a lot since the 2024 general election. You've not been in the cabinet, but you've been representing India differently in various forums globally. Are we prepared for a world, Ms. Irani, where no global supply chain may be guaranteed to us, in the sense that we have no permanent friends anymore, right? In a world of shifting alliances, the biggest vulnerability of India is that we cannot depend on any global supply chain to be there on our side in the event of a crisis. So are we prepared enough for that? And I was looking at today's decisions on data, defense, nuclear, biopharma, logistics. I thought there is some pattern that's developing out here, that we are beginning to say, or maybe Prime Minister Modi has sat in a room.
I think the rare earth corridor.
Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah, you want to.
Is one of the greatest indications of the same.
Please elaborate. Yes, please elaborate.
That we are the largest consumption market. Is a given. But we at the same time have enough capacities to ensure that manufacturing, may it be precision manufacturing or manufacturing done at a very small scale, at the scale of SMEs and MSMEs, both have the attention of the government. That border infrastructure is as much important for the government as infrastructure and capex with regard to Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. That GCCs today are not the backbenchers or the backrooms of big conglomerates globally, but today actually export IT-related services, actually have become the harbingers of innovation to a global ecosystem. So the government has balanced itself well, while at one end supporting Ayushman Bharat, at the same end recognizing India's biopharma potential, while on one end understanding that the blue economy needs support, at the same time also looking at a coastal region ecosystem for logistics, while at one end looking at not only electronics manufacturing, components manufacturing, but at the same time understanding the fragmentation in the market that AI will get. So I think the government has beautifully balanced itself. Again, I'm going back to textile. Technical textile is not about just making apparel. It is textile which affects medical devices, textile that affects defense technology, textile that affects agro-textile technology. So I see in this budget a position of balance and progression taken by the government.
Smriti Irani, I want to ask you a last question. May I? Yes. These guys will get you all stuck in all these. Smriti Irani, I'll be direct, I don't mind. When are you coming back, to Delhi? You've been spending too much time in Mumbai. And I think you're doing great. Congratulations. Your TV serial is getting a lot of attention. But when people hear you speak, some will say they miss you, right? You should be in government. You agree? I don't want to be too subtle about it. Am I being too subtle about it? Should I be more cagey about this? Am I all right? Am I asking it straight? Yeah?
What's the need to be so subtle?
No, I don't want to be subtle. I'm just trying to be polite.
As a parting note, I'll only say this, Arnab.
Don't give me an AI answer, please, Smriti. I've had enough of AI discussion today.
No, I'm not. I am not. On a parting note, I'll only say this. If you're on Republic prime time, are you ever gone?
No.
You're relevant, hence you're on Republic.
Yes, she's relevant.
Thank you for the conversation.
You are very much relevant, and we've loved talking to you. We've loved talking to you. Maybe, yeah. We'll take the conversation offline. Thank you very much, Smriti Irani. It's been great. And while that's been happening, we all know the news, right? We thank Smriti. We come back to the panel while this has been happening out there. We got the news about Pakistan. You know, I've been saying this for the longest time, that don't play cricket with Pakistan. We've got ourselves in a frightful mess. A completely avoidable mess. And the only way right now, I feel, viewers, is to cancel this joke of a World Cup. We don't want to say, next we'll be calling East Timor to play Scotland so that we can justify having a World Cup and justify wasting sponsors' money. I think you just call it off. Right, Sushil? Call it off?
See, calling off World Cup may be extreme.
No, you've got to call it off. We don't want to play Pakistan. We've compromised this country.
In neutral venues?
No, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this time the World Cup is not necessary. It's not really a World Cup anymore. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the big breaking story. Pakistan's trying to blackmail us. This happened 20 minutes back. Live reactions, big debate, latest news on that when I'm back at 9.
सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला सिप जीरा सिप